Live from the shores of the Gulf of Mexico and the Panhandle of Florida, the American Sports Network proud to visit Pensacola for the Minor League Baseball Sunday Showcase. Short boat ride in from our hotel here to beautiful Bayfront Stadium in Pensacola, Florida. And tonight we've got a dandy for you in the Southern League AA Baseball as the Barons of Birmingham are being hosted by the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. And maybe tonight they should be called the Pink Wahoos. With Brian McRae, I'm Dave Armstrong. We're in Pensacola, BMAC, and Bubba Watson owns part of this team. And like Bubba, on a Sunday, we're wearing pink. It's a pink out at the stadium, and it's a party atmosphere in Pensacola.
Well, you're right down on the water. This is a beautiful view. This venue is as good as we've seen this summer.
It's terrific, and it's a great stadium, a great venue, and a great place for us to showcase some talent. We're going to talk about not one, but two top prospects for each of these franchises. Let's start first of all with Birmingham, the AA affiliate of the Chicago White Sox, and they've got a guy by the name of Tim Anderson, a shortstop, who is their #1 prospect.
And Tim kind of got here a little odd route. Was a basketball player in high school, did not play much baseball, went to junior college, did not get drafted after his freshman year, and then the first-round pick after his sophomore year. So this really is his third year of playing professional baseball, playing baseball, period, as that, and he's already in AA.
Well, I'll tell you what a great athlete. 3 stolen bases last night. He's got 40 stolen bases on the year. He is a terrific athlete. Can't wait to watch him play here tonight. Now, Jesse Winker, on the other hand, for the Blue Wahoos, the AA affiliate of the Cincinnati Reds, this is a guy that's their #1 prospect.
Sweet swinging lefty, former minor league player of the year with the Cincinnati Reds in 2003. Can do it all. He just needs a little bit more seasoning in his first full year at AA, and this is a guy that I can't wait to watch play tonight.
Well, this underscore is exactly what the Sunday Showcase is all about. Showcasing young talent that you'll see soon in the big leagues. And tonight we have the Barons and the Blue Wahoos, and it's coming up next. Welcome back to beautiful Bayfront Stadium in Pensacola, Florida, as the Blue Wahoos are getting set to host the Barons of Birmingham. The pitcher for Pensacola tonight is Tim Adelman, a tall drink of water on the mound at 6'5". Don't let his record overall fool you. It's 6-8. That ERA of 2.38, Brian, that's the second best in the Southern League.
What the record shows you is they're not scoring any runs when he pitches. And a lot of times when a guy is your #1 or 2 starter and shuts people down, the offense has a tendency of not doing much. And that record with that ERA does not match up. Look at the walks to strikeouts. That's also good. He keeps them in a ball game. It should be a low-scoring affair most of the time when Timothy's pitching.
Now, this is a guy that went to Georgetown University and now in his 4th year of pro ball, a minor league free agent signed by the Reds organization at the end of 2013. Here's Tim Anderson leading things off for the Barons. And the first pitch is over but low, ball 1. We've already told you about Anderson. What an athlete this guy is. Hitting over 300 on the year. Serving as the DH here tonight. With all his stolen bases, B-Mac, this is a guy that, you know, he's kind of running right now on empty.
Well, you get deep into the season and you play a premium position like shortstop, steal as many bases and run around as much as he does, you're going to need a break. Your legs are going to get tired. And they're giving him a break tonight by letting him DH. Stay off his feet a little bit.
Well, there's a strike and an important one against Anderson. This is the last guy you want to walk. The #1 prospect in the White Sox organization. Foul at the plate, 2-2. Let's check out the Barons lineup. After Anderson, it'll be Jacob May, then Nicky Delmonico, Christian Marrero, Danny Hayes, Joey DeMichael, Adrian Nieto, Marcus Lemon, and then Keenan Walker. There's a ground ball past Mahias Breen all the way into the corner, and that'll be an easy stand-up double for Tim Anderson. Well, he got a pitch down and in and just pulled it right down the line.
Well, you can see last night's ball game, gets on base, starts things, and then tonight with the double right there right off the bat. But just a real athletic kid, still learning the game of baseball, hasn't played a whole lot of ball. And, you know, you look at his numbers, you look at the things he's doing right here at the AA level. There's some that say he's got a chance to come up in September as a September call-up with the White Sox.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. 2 for 4 last night, Anderson, and now he's at second. Don't think he'll stop there. He stole third in last night's game, stole 3 bases last night. The pitch over for a strike to Jacob May, who's hitting .291 on the year. There's another high draft pick by the White Sox, drafted in the 3rd round in 2013, just 23 years of age. Most of the guys in Double-A are between 21 and 25. Quick toss back to second. Vincey trying to sneak in behind Anderson. You liked to steal third, didn't you?
I thought third was a little bit easier than second because they're not holding you on the base. And you can get a running get a little bit running start to steal third base. And most pitchers have some kind of cadence that they use that you can pick up on.
Well, you can see Vincey, the shortstop. He's trying to duck in behind Anderson. Let's check out the rest of the defense for the Blue Wahoos. Winkers in left, Smith in center, Duran in right. Mejias Breen is at third base. Vincey, the shortstop. Blandino is at second. Smith at first. And Skipworth is behind the plate.
What happens when Anderson is on base? It just makes the defense do some things different. Now look where the middle is playing. They're pinching a little bit more. They give a lot of holes to the hitter, and I think May.
Good save there by Vincey.
Yeah, Vincey did a good job of keeping that ball out of center field. But May, the reason why he's hitting 290, Anderson's on base, he's getting a lot of fastballs to hit.
Fastballs, and with a hole really over on the left side of the infield, with Vincey ducking in behind Anderson. I mean, he could just slap a ball right to where a shortstop would normally play. That's what he tried to do here. Short hop, and now they've got Anderson caught up. Safe at second. Anderson eludes the tag.
Anderson got caught in no man's land on that ball. Was able to get back in with the slide to the outside part of the bag.
Or it looked like he got, unless he missed the tag completely, he definitely had the tag down in time.
Yeah, the ball beat him, but it looked like Anderson's slide to the back part of the bag was what saved him.
So instead of 1 out and a runner at first, there's 2 guys on with nobody out for Delmonico. That was a way where Anderson beat you with his speed another way. His speed and elusiveness. Popped up, foul territory behind the plate, now out of play. Did Blandino come too far away from the bag to make that play?
I think when he came up to take that throw, he came up on the inside part of the bag, and Anderson just did a good job of adjusting and sliding to the outside part of the bag.
There's strike 2 to Delmonico. Nicky Delmonico hitting 273.
Because what you want to do is create an angle where you can field the throw without the runner in the way, and I think he might have got a little bit too far to the inside part of the bag, but he was still in good position to put the tag on Anderson.
Just missed. Skipworth tried to frame it, and it's 1-2 to Delmonico. Delmonico with a 6-game hitting streak of late. He's red hot, hitting 273 with a couple of home runs, 18 runs batted in. 3 for 8 in this series. Foul out of play. Look out. This is a guy that was called up to Birmingham from Kannapolis in late June of this year. And the day he was called up to Birmingham, he had a 3-hit game. Signed as a free agent in February of this year. Oh, didn't mean to, but he did. Good strikeout there for Edelman.
First breaking ball that Edelman threw, and that ball started in the strike zone and dipped right out of there, and Delmonico couldn't hold up and couldn't make contact.
Well, you see Julio Viñas, who is the manager of the Barons. He feels like his role is to prepare guys not only at this level, but to get to AAA and then hopefully to the big leagues. in his 3rd year guiding the Barons. Christian Marrero with a swing and a miss at a high fastball. Marrero experience at 29 years of age. His 10th year of pro ball. Quite a little dance routine going on between Vincey and Anderson at second, isn't there?
And the key there is to make sure you get yourself back in position so you can field a ground ball. You don't want to be stuck right behind Anderson there at second base, and that's what he's trying to do, is get the middle infielders out of position.
Swing and a miss. Ball and 2 strikes now to Marrero. Important for the Blue Wahoos to keep the Barons off the board in the first. Birmingham this year, when they score first in a game, are 45-5. Now, last night they scored in the first, but lost the game as the Blue Wahoos came back to win it 8-7. In fact, Pensacola has won the first 2 games of this 5-game series. Fouled out of play. Marrero's 4 for 6 in this series. He was 2 for 2 last night. Christian Marrero, and he has a brother named Chris. How confusing would that be? Christian.
You got them in the same house and have some issues.
And his brother Chris played with the Barons briefly before being promoted to AAA Charlotte. I think they did that just so that Julio Viñas, the manager, wouldn't be confused. Breaking ball that just missed inside. 2-2. Boy, Edelman features a really nice curveball. Anderson at second. He led off this inning with a double. Boy, again, just missed inside. Now full count. Anderson looking for some signs from Viñas at third. 3-2 pitch with 1 out of the runners going. And if you're the catcher, Skipworth, do you throw to third or do you try to get May at second? The runners are going, and it's fouled away.
A lot of times if the runner on second gets a good jump, you already have a sign that you're going to use with your middle infielders. You're going to let them know that you're going back door to get the guy from first base.
Boy, Vincey and Anderson are using up a lot of energy here in the first inning.
And a lot of times there'll be hitters that'll tell the guy at second base to calm that down because you're blocking what he's trying to do, concentrate on the pitcher and where that arm slot is.
Swing and a miss, and down he goes, and that time the runners weren't going. Back-to-back strikeouts for Adelman.
Another good breaking ball. You can tell that that's probably going to be the strikeout pitch for Adelman tonight.
So Adelman 2/3 of the way of working out of this first inning jam. Still runners at first and second. Now with 2 out, and Danny Hayes the batter. Hayes 0 for 6 in the series, 0 for 2 last night. This is a guy picked up by the White Sox in the 2013 draft in the 13th round. Didn't mean to. Boy, that breaking ball is so effective against these left-handed hitters. They start their swing, and then halfway through they realize they've been fooled.
Yeah, it looks like he's a better matchup for left-handers, and Birmingham Barons lineup is full of left-handers.
Hayes, a guy who went to college, an Oregon State Beaver. Ground ball through the right side, base hit. Anderson will score easily from second, and there goes May to third. So an RBI single for Danny Hayes, his 45th RBI of the year. Just when it looked like Adelman will wiggle off the hook, Hayes comes through with an RBI.
And Hayes doesn't do a whole lot. The ball outside kind of hooks it into the hole. But when Anderson going on the pitch, even though Duran wasn't playing real deep in right field, he scores easily.
So now Joey DeMichael. Ball 1 to DeMichael. Joey, 24 years of age. He was picked up in the 2012 draft in the 3rd round. Line drive, base hit, and that'll score May. Makes it 2-0 Barons. So back-to-back RBI singles from Hayes and DeMichael, and the Barons are on the board here in the 1st.
And unfortunately, what happens a lot of times when you are in a jam as a pitcher and you get that second out, you tend to relax.
Yeah.
And think you're almost out of it when you should bear down more with 2 outs.
Third hit of the inning for the Barons. And you think back to this inning, B-Mac, as Adrian Nieto comes to the plate hitting just .203. You think back to that play at second base where they had Anderson trapped between second and third. He wiggles off of that hook and somehow eludes the tag of Blandino at second. And as a result of all that, the Barons have 2 runs.
And that easily could have been a double play.
Yes.
That ball was almost caught in the air with Anderson being doubled off there because he's off the bag, and you get out of that inning.
Fastball in there for strike 2.
But maybe we're seeing why with the stats, with the ERA and the record of the troubles that Tim is having, because just some weird things are happening when he's on the mound. He pitched better in his first inning than the results.
Yeah, he did. He struck out the side. So the Barons are gone in the 1st, but not forgotten. Tim Anderson leads the parade of 2 runs for Birmingham, and we go to the bottom of the 1st. You're watching Sunday Night Showcase on ASN. Now the Barons are looking for their first win in this series and off to a good start, 2-0. So let's check out the Blue Wahoos lineup. Bryson Smith will lead things off. He's followed by the second baseman, Alex Blandino. Then Jesse Winker. Can't wait to see this smooth swinging left-handed bat. Marquez Smith, the cleanup batter. Then Juan Duran. Seth Mejias-Breen. He's the third baseman. Then Sean Buckley. Kyle Skipworth, the catcher. He's on a home run tear of late. Zach Vinci, the shortstop. He bats ninth. Defensively, for the Barons, it's Marrero in left field. Jacob May, the center fielder. Keenan Walker is in right. Delmonico is at third. Lemon playing short tonight to give Anderson a bit of a break. He's just the DH. DeMichael is at second. Hayes at first. And Nieto is behind the plate. On the mound for the Barons is Mark Blackmar, the son of Phil Blackmar, former PGA pro player and now on the Champions Tour.
Right-hander, sinker, slider. Doesn't do a whole lot as far as impressing you with gun readings. He just gets outs. He's a guy that he'll get a lot of ground balls if he's going good, works quick, pitches to contact, tries to pound that strike zone.
So a guy that was acquired from the Orioles in a trade from Corpus Christi, Texas. Mark Blackmar. He's not quite as tall as his dad. Phil, tallest golfer on record at 6'7". 3-time champion on the PGA Tour, Phil Blackmar, and now a commentator on the Golf Network. Well, here's Bryson Smith leading things off, hitting over 300 this year. And a good breaking ball from Blackmar. Smith, 26 years of age, picked up in 2011 in the draft. There's a hot shot down to Delmonico. Kind of boxed it a little bit, but enough for the out at first base. The umpires calling the balls and strikes. Jason Starkovich. Blake Carnahan is at first base, and at third, Lewis Williams. So now the second baseman, Blandino, 22 years of age, a first-round pick in 2014. Blandino, a top prospect in the Reds organization. In fact, number 7 prospect, just up from Daytona on the 3rd of the month. Tried to check his swing, and it's 1-1. Blandino 1 for 5 in the series. First round pick in 2014, the 29th overall selection in the draft. Guy who played at Stanford, was all Pac-12. Just missed inside 2-2. Hot shot through the hole. Blandino with a solid single to left field. And that sets the table for Jesse Winker. B-Mac, there are certain guys, and in watching Winker last night, there are just certain guys when they stand at the plate, they just look like they can hit.
Yeah, I think was it Trey Hillman that coined the phrase that a guy looks hitterish?
There you go. Yeah, he does. This guy looks hitterish. I mean, just watch his stance, watch the way he sets up. He just looks like he was born with a bat in his hands. Down low, ball 1 to Winker. It's hitting .264 on the year. 8 home runs, 37 runs batted in, ripping the cover off it in August, hitting .357. In fact, he's hit safely in 8 of his last 9 games. The number 1 prospect for the Reds. Little conversation with the home plate umpire. He thought that pitch was outside. It's 1-1. How much can you say to an umpire?
You can say a lot if you use the right words.
So the thought there is, what's he saying? Like, where was that?
Yeah, he may say, I think that ball's outside.
Yeah.
Is it going to be any further than that tonight?
Okay.
You know, you can ask that, like, is that as far as it goes tonight? But you can ask it in 4 or 5 different ways, and you can get the response of, hey, enough, or yeah, that's as far as it's going to be, and you kind of go from there.
Usually you get a warning before you get tossed.
Yeah, you'll get a warning.
Like,
They'll
okay,
say that's enough. I don't want to hear it. And if you use any of the the magic words,
Yeah.
usually if you direct one of those magic words at the umpire, you don't get a warning. You're gone.
Thank you.
Fouled at the plate.
And if you're heated a little bit and you don't look directly at the umpire, you usually can say your piece. You can put your head down, dig in. You can say what you want to say. Don't bring attention to the fact that you're arguing over something, and usually umpires will let you say a little bit.
Don't show him up.
Yeah, don't show them. Don't let everybody at the ballpark know what's going on.
Okay.
They don't want to be the center of attention for anything negative.
Another foul ball. Well, this is such a great ballpark here. The Bayfront Stadium, you see 325 down the left field line, 400 to straightaway center, 335 down the right field line. And if you're strong enough, you can get it out to the bay. I saw one go out into the bay last night, 400 feet to the bay. Look at that view. I mean, it's hard to watch baseball. Foul tip.
We've been to some pretty scenic areas and different ballparks on this tour of the summer, and this is about as good as it gets because you just look out over the water, and it's outstanding, and it's an outstanding night too.
A little bit like San Francisco. A little bit, you know, just in terms of that you're on the bay. This is the only minor league park, by the way, in the country that's right on a bay. Oh, what a beautiful piece of hitting by Winker that time. He just reached out and poked it into left field. Wow. The third baseman, Delmonico, was way off the line, and he just guided that ball right down the line.
Well, that's where the shift doesn't help you out. Change up away, didn't really hit it hard, but it was good placement. And sometimes when you overshift, it hurts you because the pitcher is trying to, you could tell there's change up. Left one away, and he just slapped it down the line.
Pat Kelly has been the manager for Jesse Winker as he has developed through the system with the Reds. And he says, you're just seeing this kid come on. Every year, he's just getting better and better and better. And the power is up this year with those 8 home runs. So,
and unlike some of the other levels where we bounced around, Double-A is where you're going to see most teams prize prospects. In their second or third year of pro ball, they're going to try to get them to Double-A and see what they can do.
Infield fly roll will be called here. And there are 2 outs. Well, it's interesting that Pat Kelly, he has kind of followed the career of Jesse Winker. And in fact, Winker gives Pat Kelly, his manager, all kinds of credit for his development. He says he's like a second dad to me. He's not only taught me about baseball, but he's taught me a lot about life. Because Winker is a guy who signed right out of high school.
Yeah, and when you sign out of high school, you're thrown into a grown man's world and you're not ready for it.
Yeah. Juan Duran now the batter. This is a guy that his power numbers are off from last year when he hit 17 home runs, only 1 this year, but he's plugging the gaps. He has 16 doubles since the 1st of July. Duran 0 for 7 with a walk in this series. Six feet 7 inches tall, Duran. He signed with the Reds at age 16.
When you're that big, there are a lot of moving parts to your swing that can get out of whack very easy.
Also makes it tough to fly coach.
Well, they're not flying in Double-A. They're busing for the most part.
Well, sometimes it's hard to ride on a bus, too.
15 hours on a bus, he can't get comfortable.
No. Unless it's a sleeper bus.
Birmingham may have Jordan's old bus still, but nobody else does.
Yeah. That thing's still running, huh? The 1-2 pitch, little soft liner. DeMichael backs up for the hop, and that'll do it. So 2 singles for the Blue Wahoos, but nothing doing on the scoreboard. And after 1, it's 2-0 in favor of the Barons. Welcome back to the Minor League Baseball Sunday Showcase. Pensacola Beach has been named one of the top 5 beaches in the U.S. and given the Traveler's Choice Award by TripAdvisor. The little town of Gulf Breeze just outside Pensacola as we come across the bay and back into beautiful Bayfront Stadium in Pensacola. With Brian McCray and our entire American Sports Network crew, we welcome you back for our Sunday Showcase. Marcus Lemon to lead things off for the Barons, who lead 2-0 going to the second. Lemon hitting .261 on the year. 1 for 8 in this series. 0 for 4 last night. He was signed by Chicago as a free agent in March of this year. Originally with Texas. Now back on the screen, 2 quick strikes on Marcus Lemon. 27 years of age. Breaking ball. He was able to get a bat on that. Still 2 strikes.
I haven't seen 8 lefties in a lineup in a long time.
No. And one of them is not Anderson. Anderson, a right-handed batter. This one beat on the ground. Mahias Breen. Good play.
Something that all good first basemen do. They're able to help out the infielders when they short hop a throw.
That wasn't a real short hop either. I mean, that was maybe 5 feet out in front of him.
Yeah, that
That's
was a tough one.
That's tough.
Good pick by Smith. He had got to have real soft hands on that and anticipate those throws.
Walker looking to bunt, takes one inside. Walker hitting just .209 with 2 home runs, 19 runs batted in. He's 0 for 7 in this series. This is his 3rd year with the Barons. Didn't check in time, 1-1.
Have you seen any of the drills that first basemen do to pick balls where our coach will get a fungo and go out behind second base and just rocket balls at him?
Yep. And I would think if I'm a first baseman, I don't mind it if it's like a foot right in front of me, because that's just a nice, you just put your glove down.
It's a long hop, yeah.
It's the long hop, that the one he just handled, which is tough.
An in-between one.
Yeah. Tell you, when I was with the Rockies, Todd Helton just had the softest hands at first base. If it was in the vicinity, he caught it. Andres Galarraga, too.
He wasn't bad.
The big cat, you know, for as big as he was, Galarraga had soft hands.
When I was with the Cubs, Mark Gray said when he first came up, he was a bad defensive first baseman, and Sean Dunston made him better.
Because of so many throws
with
in the
all
dirt.
those wild throws and everything like that, that he learned how to pick those balls out of the dirt and have softer hands. Speaking of hands, it's kind of an odd little gather that we see there with the double tap with the ball in the glove.
What do you mean by the double tap? Explain what you're talking about. Let's look at this.
He comes set.
Yeah.
Couldn't really see it there, but he comes set, takes the ball out of the glove, and then takes it back in and has like a double tap.
I gotcha.
And most pitchers, if they do something like that, they do that to gather themselves so they don't fly open and come towards the plate too early before their arm gets going.
Anderson goes after the first pitch and lifts a high fly to right field, handled by Duran, and that'll do it. The Barons go 3 up, 3 down in the second. To the bottom of the second we go. Still 2-0 Birmingham. Well, you see that boat over there on the right? That's called the Tom's 2. It's named after our producer, Tom Hero, and our director, Tom Smith. It's their boat. They just went out and bought it together with all their ASN money. Hey, you ready for your team your way? Check out the all-new AmericanSportsNet.com. Great storytelling, speaking of storytelling, and features on players and teams across the minor leagues and colleges that you care about. AmericanSportsNet.com. 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the second. If only, huh? I think Smitty just said, if I owned that boat, I wouldn't be in a truck right now.
Be out there in the water having fun.
That's right. Well, here is Seth Mejias-Breen. He leads things off for the Blue Wahoos. And then Sean Buckley and Kyle Skipworth.
Oh, come on.
Mark Blackmar on the mound. You know, his dad, Phil Blackmar, said that Mark, when he was 8, 9, 10 years old, had the most gorgeous golf swing you could imagine, but he also loved baseball. There's a hot shot handled by Delmonico. 1 up, 1 down here in the second. And so Phil said to Mark, look, you've got until age 12 to make a decision, because at that point you're going to have to pick a sport. If you really want to be good at one sport or the other, you're going to have to pick golf or pick baseball. And he said, I kind of was thinking he was going to pick golf because he had the most gorgeous swing. He said, I wished I had his swing. And this is the guy who won 3 times on the tour. And Mark, of course, loved the game of baseball. He was also a very good hitter. And now he's come up and become a very good pitcher. And a good breaking ball there to Sean Buckley. So at the age of 12, Mark Blackmar said goodbye to golf. And now if you ask Mark, he says, I can hit the ball a long way, but I really don't have any idea where it's going. And his dad, Phil, said, yeah, he lost that beautiful swing.
Yeah, that's like a lot of us.
Yeah. It's hard to do both. You can't have a great golf swing and a great baseball swing. They're different. Off the fist, Delmonico again, 2 down.
And also just the time that it takes to hone your craft.
Right.
You know, the guys that I played ball with that were good golfers, they were freakish athletes. David Howard comes to mind.
Yes.
You know, he was the guy that could scratch golfer, could do it all. He could go from golf to baseball in an afternoon. And it was like flipping a switch. He could go from one to the other and be fine.
There aren't many of those guys, though.
No, not at all. That's hard to do. It's hard to play one sport and do well at.
High pop-up. Lemon. And we go to the third. So 3 up, 3 down for Pensacola. And it's still 2-0 Birmingham. Yeah, Bayfront Stadium has won all kinds of awards. Tonight it's gone to the dogs. Literally, they welcome the dogs in on this Sunday night. And a lot of folks have brought their favorite #1 pet or #2 pet along with them to the ballpark here tonight. And they let them run around in the field earlier before the game.
The smart ones are out in the shade right now.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. This place looks pretty in pink. It's pink out here at Bayfront Stadium. By the way, Bubba Watson, who is listed as co-owner of the Pensacola Blue Wahoos, he made a nice charge today, shot a 3-under par 67, but finished in second place.
Still not bad.
No. He's still #2 in the FedEx ratings. And Bubba's got his own bar right behind the plate. Bubba's Sand Trap. Well, Jacob May will lead things off. And for Tim Adelman and for the Blue Wahoos, that's a whole lot better than having Tim Anderson lead off. Not to slight Jacob May, but Anderson is in a whole nother category.
Just have to worry about the hitter now.
Yeah. May was the guy that hit that bouncing ball to the shortstop back in the first inning. Anderson got caught up in a rundown between second and third. It wasn't much of a rundown. Anderson able to get back to the bag at second, so May was safe at first on a fielder's choice, and both Anderson and May later scored in the inning. Here's one beat into the ground to Blandino. 1 up, 1 down here in the third. 5 straight retired now by Adelman. Hear long pauses in the broadcast tonight, it's only because B-Mac and I are staring at the water.
Taking it all in.
Taking it in. This is gorgeous. You come to Pensacola, you got to come to a minor league game, folks. This should be on your bucket list of minor league baseball. Look at the view. And that amphitheater out there, B-Mac will be singing some karaoke there later tonight.
While we're on the boat.
Yeah, that's right. While we're on the Tom 2 boat. Look at that. I would like to attend a concert right there. Delmonico, the batter, he struck out his first time up. And it's a ball and 2 strikes to Delmonico this time. Fisted foul. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Adelman a little bit unlucky to be trailing 2-0 in this game. That first inning could have easily gone a lot differently than it did. High fly ball, playable, left center field. Winker, 2 out. So now 6 straight retired by Adelman. Christian Marrero, the batter, he struck out in the first inning. One of 4 strikeouts tonight for Adelman.
Doesn't throw real hard, but it seems like everything has some movement. Nothing straight.
If you had your pick, would you rather face a guy? Well, here's first a look at Marrero. And you see picked up by the White Sox way back in 2005. He's been in over 1,000 minor league games. And he drills this one into right center field. Late jump by Duran. And this one will get all the way to the warning track, and a stand-up double for Marrero. My question is, would you rather face a guy that throws really hard but not much movement, or throw a guy that doesn't throw as hard with a lot of movement?
I'd rather face the hard thrower that's got a straight 4-seam fastball, doesn't have a whole lot of movement, and can't throw a secondary pitch for a strike.
Well, a 2-out double by Marrero will get Danny Hayes to the plate. And Hayes came through with a 2-out RBI single his first time up.
Looked like because of the glare on the field that Duran didn't see that ball off the bat at all, because he didn't move.
He didn't move
until that ball was almost down in the right center field gap.
Right. Down in the dirt, a ball and a strike. The sun would appear to be more troublesome to the left fielder than the right fielder.
Yeah, I think the sun is, but it looks like there's a glare because the way he moved or did not move on that was, like I said, he didn't see it at all.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a bad jump. It was no jump.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, the ball bounced before he even moved. I think he moved by the sound more than the sight.
Because it didn't look like he knew where the ball, how it came off the bat.
Right. 3-1 now to Danny Hayes. Barons are in first place in their division. And as of this moment, so are the Blue Wahoos. They're in separate divisions in the Southern League. And Mobile lost earlier today, so that moves the Blue Wahoos into a first place tie of the moment. And that's in the second half for each of these teams. Well, Hayes works a 2-out walk. Now 2 aboard.
I like that in the lower minor leagues where they have the 2 halves.
Yes.
Because with all the player movement, you're going to have a different roster sometimes in the first half than you do the second half, and giving a team a chance to regroup at the All-Star break and then come out with something to gain in the second half, I think that works out. It benefits everybody.
I agree with you, B-Mac. Joey DeMichael, the batter, he had an RBI single in the first, and he lifts this one into center field. Smith got a good jump on it. He goes back near the track to make the play, and that'll do it. The Barons strand 2. We go to the home half of the 3rd inning, and we'll visit with Steve Hayes. That's coming up next from Pensacola. Tonight's minor league baseball Sunday showcase is brought to you in part by Visit Pensacola. A game at minor league baseball's #1 stadium or a walk on Florida's best beach, voted by USA Today readers, are just 2 of the great activities for visitors to Pensacola. We are in beautiful Pensacola, Florida, up in the Panhandle, northern Florida, and a long way from Miami. In fact, our producer, Tom Piero, lives in Miami, so it's about a 10-hour drive from there. But joining us now is Steve Hayes, who is the president of Visit Pensacola. And tell us, Steve, why should we visit Pensacola? We know we've been here, but why? Well, what do you say?
Well, I tell you, one of the things that really is great about this area, you mentioned the beaches already,
yes.
But you know what? I think one of the best things is the fact this ballpark and the team that's here, and it's right in the downtown where there's so much going on that you just get this whole big experience, here in Northwest Florida and some of the other places you wouldn't get. And that's what we find exciting.
Well, it is exciting. I mean, let's talk about the beaches a little bit. Voted as the top beach in Florida and one of the best beaches in the world.
Well, and that's it. Gulf Island's National Seashore this year was voted the best beach in Florida, which is a tremendous honor. But we've had a lot of other beaches that have received national recognition as well. So it's just not one beach. And then we also have other recognitions. Downtown being recognized one of the top 10 downtown streets in America. You've also got one of the largest naval aviation museums that are here. So there's a lot of accolades about other people talking about this great community.
And a lot of people come down to the Panhandle, and they have been coming for years. Pensacola, in the last 10 or 15 years, has made a big explosion with things that they're doing downtown. What are some of the things that are on the horizon?
Well, there's a lot, I think, it's coming up. And if you look at some of the developments that are coming, what they're doing in the historic district, what they're doing in downtown, and some of the lodging aspects, the museums, the culture that we have here. You also look at, I think, a lot of things in this area that, people just keep talking about all the positive things that are going on. You're right. So much has happened in the last 5 to 10 years. This place is on fire.
Well, it is. And, of course, we had, unfortunately, that BP oil spill, which really caused all kinds of damage in the Gulf. But everybody's back now, right? Everything is good again.
It is. Everything is up. In fact, just the families that are vacationing, people that are coming here in the coming months, it was a very unfortunate what happened in 2010, but you know what? We're back, and there's something to be said for that.
Well, you see, this is obviously an area where, you come here for seafood. I mean, look at that. I mean, you just come here for just this, right?
We just had some friends in town, and this is one of the places we took them because they're like, oh my gosh, and they actually took food home with them as they were driving back down south.
Yeah, we may do that also.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, we're gonna stack up. We brought our coolers, and we're ready to go. So. B-Mac, this is so much fun on our tour throughout the minor leagues to visit these great places, and Pensacola has moved up to one of the top of the charts as far as places
we're just
we've
saying,
been.
We've gone to seeing a lot of ballparks and gone all around the country. We started off with doing games in El Paso, and this will be my last game here in Pensacola, but seeing what they're doing here in this venue and this view is spectacular. I know it took a long time to get a baseball team here. You had to get the stadium first. Kind of take us through some of the things that led up to the club getting here and this ballpark being built.
It really took a lot of vision to be able to say, hey, what can be done with this particular part of land and to have the stadium here. But when you turn around and you see a view like you're seeing now out there over the waters, you're watching the game, and then the fan support is absolutely tremendous. And it just shows the faith that folks have in the team and the efforts that's going on
And this
here.
is prime real estate.
Yes,
could have done a lot of things, residential development, all kind of things here, commercial-wise, but they decided to put the stadium here, and I think it was an outstanding choice.
Well, and it's going to spur other development, and and that's the great thing about it. And then you also have a team that that's doing well, that also has a lot of great press. It's one of the top ball clubs in minor league baseball. This stadium was voted the best stadium when they opened up as new. That has got to be said. Again, another accolade for this area.
Steve Hayes, our guest right now, the president of Visit Pensacola, and one of the reasons you want to visit Pensacola, you touched on it a little bit. The Blue Angels make their home here, and one of the best museums in the country.
Well, the Blues just had their beach show here a couple of weeks ago. Absolutely phenomenal. Anytime you can see them, and they're practicing every Tuesday and Wednesday. You can see them over the skies here in Pensacola. But that museum is outstanding. The fact that you go through and you get to see some of the aircraft that are there, the history that goes with it, and it's best of all, it's free. What more can you ask for a family when they're coming to visit?
Well, 2-out single by Blandino extends things just a little bit. Steve, how do they contact you if they want more information about visiting Pensacola?
Well, I'll tell you, if anybody wants to visit, it's real easy. Go to visitpensacola.com. You can find all the information you need there.
All right, that's terrific. And we thank you again for your visit, for your patronage, and
thank you
for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Some of the special things about Pensacola. We highly recommend it, fans. Yeah, we highly recommend it to you. Come to Pensacola for the baseball and for the beaches and for the beach bars, for the museums, for everything else. It is a terrific place to bring your family. Thank you, Steve.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. That's Steve Hayes, the president of Visit Pensacola, and we're glad to have him as a guest here. 2-out single keeps this inning alive for the Blue Wahoos. Jesse Winker, the batter. Winker at the plate and a 2-0 count. You're playing with fire if you're Mark Blackmar. Unless you're just pitching around this guy. Up and in, 3-0. Taken all the way on 3-0. Winker had a single. Remember, he guided that ball down the third baseline his first time up.
Got to be careful here not to give in and just lay a cookie in there.
Fouled out of play. Winker's a guy, B-Mac, that grew up in Orlando, born in Buffalo, New York, but grew up in Orlando, went to high school there. And he said, I was different than a lot of kids who always, said, oh, I love Florida State, I love Florida, I love this, I love that. I never really had a college team that I followed. I always thought from the time I was a young guy that I was going to play Major League Baseball. And so for him, he really wanted to do things right. And he followed Derek Jeter. And he said, this is a guy that carried himself well both on and off the field. And he kind of patterned everything he did around baseball after the Yankee captain, Derek Jeter. And just like that, okay, you strike out. What do? You don't cry about it. You toss your gloves down. You go back out and play left field. And we go to the fourth, still 2-0 Birmingham. Welcome back to the Minor League Baseball Sunday Showcase. Pensacola's home to the U.S. Navy's Blue Angels and the National Naval Aviation Museum. The museum has been named one of the top 25 museums in the U.S. by TripAdvisor. Also, Pensacola is home to the Great Carrier Reef, the world's largest artificial reef, the USS Oriskany. So we welcome you back to Bayfront Stadium here in Pensacola with Brian McRae. I'm Dave Armstrong and our terrific ASN crew. Enjoying a nice Sunday night of baseball on the Sunday Showcase here on the American Sports Network. Nieto leads things off. Good movement on that pitch from Adelman. Strike one. Nieto struck out looking his first time up. Nieto, remember a couple of weeks ago we were talking about Rule 5. He's one of the guys that took advantage of that, selected in the Rule 5 Major League Draft in 2014. And this one hit to Smith, the first baseman, the pitcher covering. Well done.
That is not an easy play. Smith made that look too easy, and to hit a moving target too. That wasn't an underhand throw. That was a toss. You've seen a lot of first basemen throw that ball away.
Yeah. Marquez Smith has made two nice plays down there.
Yeah, he moves. Doesn't move like your typical first baseman.
Here's Lemon. He bounced out to third his first time up. And that third baseman, Mejias Breen, is inside the bag on the grass. This one hit into right center field. And oncoming is Smith with a beautiful grab. A diving catch by Bryson Smith.
We hear a lot of talk about closing speed. Bryson Smith closed on that ball and was able to catch it and hold on.
Beautiful catch by Bryson Smith. All right, you played center field. What's it like when you're out there? When do you make the decision, I'm going all out for this, or I got to play it on a hop?
The game with the score and everything kind of dictates too what goes on, but
no play now off the glove first of Adelman, and then no play for Blandino. So an infield single for Walker. A bunt, sharp hit bunt, and Walker able to get it by the pitcher.
You're dragging it. You want to take it at the second baseman. As soon as you get it by the pitcher, you know you pretty much have a great chance of beating that, and it's textbook right there. That's what you try to do. Get it past the pitcher, bunt it at the second baseman. There's really no defense for that.
Full disclosure, I wasn't really watching the play, obviously. When I say it went off the pitcher's glove, it wasn't even close to him. I was looking at BMAC for his response to when do you go after a ball in the gap and when do you say, well, I need to play this on a hop.
I tried to go for everything unless the score dictated I couldn't get a ball get behind me, like late in the ball game or things like that. And I try to get the other fielders out of the way. Center fielder's in charge. You call it. You get them out of the way. Even if you don't catch it, you make sure that you're not running into your left fielder, your right fielder, or your middle infielder.
And you want those guys to back you up.
You want to back up, but you also have to let them know early what you're going to do. You can call it even if you don't catch it, just to get them out of the way, and then they can go and back you up. But what happens when you call it too late, people get too close to each other, then that's when you see the collisions and balls whirling all the way to the wall. The center fielder has to be in charge. You have to make a decision, rightly or wrongly. You make your decision and you stick with it.
Now, what happens with Anderson swinging over the top of that breaking ball when both you guys are called for at the same time? We see that every now and then, and neither
I try to be louder. As a center fielder, I tried to be the loudest one out there so they knew that when I call it, it was my ball, and I call. That's why you have to call it more than once.
Yes.
Call it loud, call it more than once, because you can be running full speed and call it a couple times, and so could the other guy.
Now they got Walker picked off between first and second, and he is out. So Walker gets caught trying to fool Tim Adelman, who picked him off first base. So Walker makes a big mistake, and Adelman catches him.
Trying to get a walking lead, did not get it, and Smith's able to run him down.
Welcome back to Pensacola for the Minor League Baseball Sunday Showcase. 4 Pensacola restaurants have earned the Golden Spoon Award by Florida Trend, and 2 of listings on the 50 best beach bars in the world is selected by CNN Travel. Landshark Landing at Margaritaville and Floribama. And don't forget about the restaurants here at Bayfront Stadium, folks. Quinn Studer is our guest now. He is the principal owner of the Blue Wahoos, and thank you for joining us, and thank you for inviting us to Pensacola.
Well, we're excited. Congratulations to Bubba Watson, one of the owners of the team, came in second. Of course, hello to my mother, Shirley Studer. So I've been good.
Right. You've covered all the bases.
Covered it all.
I really thought Bubba was going to come through with a victory today, but a terrific play by the eventual winner on the 18th hole.
Absolutely, and Bubba's having a great year. And of course, when he comes here, he's very active. I mean, he works it.
Yeah, and you guys are going into the candy business together as well, aren't you?
Yeah, him and my wife, Rishi, they're starting Bubba's Sweet Spot. That's going to be a candy and ice cream store right down the street.
Now, what did you bring us?
That's shrimp and grits. You know, we do great with our food. It's all fresh, nothing frozen, everything cooked on the spot. So I think one of the things that we're really known for, like a lot of minor league ballparks, is fresh, good food.
That's good. B-Mac, go ahead and
I'm going to get into that here in a little bit.
Oh, my goodness, that's good.
We've checked out everything here. Got here a little early, walked around the stadium, checked out the venue. This is one of the best fields we've seen as far as the view and everything that you allow the fans to access. What is so inviting about coming to this ballpark?
Well, I think first of all, you get to walk, so you get that excitement and that feeling as you're walking into the park. And then a lot of people here, because the water is blocked in many spots, hadn't seen this type of water. We actually, when we first opened up in 2012, had community people walk to the top of the stairs, see the water, and cry. So, because when we did our survey, the thing we heard over and over again is people wanted to be water. They wanted to come to the water. You know, Pensacola's loaded with water, so we're very fortunate to have this view. But I think you can have a great view, but if you don't have great fan experience, the view is nice, but you can get that without a game. And, you know, we have, as you know, we focus a lot on employee engagement. That's sort of my background, and we survey our employees. We want the happiest employees in minor league baseball, and then that parlays into, according to Turnkey, the best fan experience in minor league baseball is right here in Pensacola.
Well, you look at some of the ratings, and since the stadium is open, you've been at the top or right below at number 2 or 3. What are some of the unique fan experiences that you can have when you come to the ballpark here?
Well, I think everybody tries to do the same thing, so we really stay with our basics. We want the fans to have a great experience. We want them, by the time they get to their seat, 4 or 5 people have already greeted them. We probably overstaff it by about 30%, but we think it's worth it because we want every section to have their own usher. We treat our employees great. 84% of our employees come back every single year, so we have that retention. We have our bathrooms. We have a bathroom monitor in every single bathroom, so we never want our bathrooms to be dirty. So it's really just focus on that fan experience. You know, if you spill something, we just get it for free. You drop something, we fix it. So I think it's really that fan satisfaction that we focus on.
Well, and you've done such a good job with that, and obviously it's paid off for you. These fans are happy, and look how full your ballpark is on a Sunday night, and it's full quite often. You're second in the Southern League in attendance with the smallest stadium.
Yeah, I think one of the things, we have a small ballpark. We have a population that doesn't grow, so you've got to retain. It's all about retaining your sponsors, retaining your fans. And so we know that everybody does well on Friday and Saturday, so we put a lot of our focus on Sunday through Thursday. We'll even do a bobblehead. For example, this Tuesday night is Morning Joe from MSNBC bobblehead night. So instead of doing it on a Saturday, we'll do a lot of things on Tuesdays. We have fireworks on Wednesdays because a lot of the children can't get in on Saturdays because we're sold out. So we threw another one in on Wednesdays to make sure the kids get a chance to see the fireworks.
But also a lot in the community outreach too, Quint. I mean, you guys do so much here in the Pensacola area.
Yeah, we consider ourselves a 12-month-a-year operation. And, you know, we do a lot of camps. We do a lot. My wife and I, of course, are very active in philanthropy. So we do an awful lot of that. We have Travis Mater, one of our ball players, running camps. And we're about ready this week to announce that we've got a former Heisman Trophy winner that's going to join our community team to offer camps in football and basketball. So we're excited. We're a 12-month operation for the community. 5 months of it is baseball.
There's a nice little break here for your team, and it's going to turn into a 2-base hit.
And we sure appreciate you being here. I mean, we're thrilled.
Oh.
This community's so excited about having your broadcast here.
Well, we're excited to be here. We really are. We've gone all around the country, and you know, BMAC and I have said all night long, I mean, this vista, you can't beat it, and this ballpark and what you guys are doing in the community. And now I understand you're going to transition to football in this stadium as well.
Yeah, we're excited about that. You know, we're excited about a number of things. Number one, the University of West Florida is going to play football here, and we're thrilled about that. We think it's going to be a great experience. And then we're also, with UWF, has announced they're having a Center for Entrepreneurship in downtown Pensacola. So it's great to see the university coming downtown. So we're thrilled about the University of West Florida. And I even got a job out of it. I'm going to be the non-paid entrepreneur in residence.
How about that? All right, you could have gotten involved in a lot of things, obviously. You were involved in healthcare for so many years. And
still am.
But you could have done a lot of different things. Why minor league baseball?
I don't know if it's minor league baseball as much as I certainly love baseball. I grew up in Chicago. In fact, I was at the White Sox game this Tuesday night when I was in Chicago. And I just think it's a culture of baseball. It's a neighborhood. And what we try to do with this, our boardwalk here, is really create that porch, that neighborhood porch that people used to have. So what I love about baseball, it's not about race, it's not about religion, it's not about money. Once you're in baseball, and it should be like that everywhere, but in baseball, it's certainly what we try to do is that melting pot of neighborhood.
And why is it that, you know, Bubba Watson got involved? And tell us a little bit about that story of how you got involved with Bubba.
Well, Bubba won his first Masters. This was the first spot he came to. In fact, Caleb got his first one of his first diapers changed in our press box there. So Bubba loves the community, and he was looking for a way to get actively involved, and he loved the feeling. And then we just stayed in touch, and I went to the U.S. Open when they were up there, and Randall Wells, one of his good friends, and works with him. Basically, there we go.
We're going to keep you on. This is working out good for the Blue Wahoos.
They basically came to me and approached me and say, Bubba would love to be involved with the Blue Wahoos. Would you be okay with him purchasing part of the ownership? And I said, I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great. And but he's an active owner too. I mean, he'll be watching and texting, and when he comes into town, you know, he goes into the locker room and talks to the players about stress and failure. And he bought him a ping pong table and a 70-inch TV.
Well, he's one of my favorites to watch, and I watch a lot of golf, and Bubba is one of those guys that, you know, we still talk about that shot he made at the Masters to win it that one year, and I've never been, but I've had other guys tell me they've gone to that spot where he hit that shot, and they say it's absolutely impossible.
Well, the other thing, you know, our field is that we think the best turf. In fact, last year it won the best turf. Jerry Pate, one of the youngest U.S. Open winners, is the one who did our Jerry Pate turf, is the one that did our field. And when people come here, they can't believe when it rains how it drains. So we sort of have a golf connection here, I guess. And Boo Weekley was here the other day throwing out a first pitch.
Well, it's terrific. And, you know, you've done so much in this community, so much with this organization. What's in the future?
Well, I think in the future we're excited about certainly UW football, the Center for Entrepreneurship. You know, Palafox was named one of the 10 best streets in the United States. The candy store now, my wife and I are in the process of building there's a brand new YMCA that's going to break ground this week downtown, and then we're putting in 239 workforce apartments right downtown. So, you know, we want to make Pensacola the place that people say, gee, instead of Austin to grow our company, let's go to Pensacola.
Oh, man, why not? I mean, we're coming back. I hope, if you'll invite us back.
I hope so.
Because this is just terrific. When you look at this community and this ballpark and this organization and, you know, guided by this man right here, and I know he's a very humble guy and he won't take much credit, but all of the things that they do are fan-centric, and I think that's what really makes this place so special. And, you know, my hat's off to you and your organization.
Well, thank you. Thanks for letting me.
So thanks again for inviting us.
Hey, we're thrilled. Anytime.
All right, great.
We're having a blast.
Yeah,
Good,
we're having a
thank you.
good time. And your team's coming back.
Yeah.
So that doesn't hurt.
Well, my mother will be happy. Mama wants some hits as her nickname.
I get it. I understand. Well, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we've got a 2-1 ball game now with 2 out, 2 on here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And BMAC, you've got to dig into this shrimp. The shrimp and grits.
I almost had that for lunch, and I decided not to because I wanted to check out what they had here at the ballpark.
You know, I've been bragging all year about El Paso's nachos. Very first week when we had the nachos at El Paso. This is rivaling that. That's all I'm saying. That one gets by the third baseman. This will tie the game. What a rally by the Blue Wahoos.
They just needed a little help in the booth.
That's it. Needed the owner to come up, kickstart this thing. Runner still at first and second with 2 out in a 2-2 ball game. Not unusual for Pensacola to come back in this series against Birmingham. They've come back in each of the first 2 games to win them both. And now it's Bryson Smith, the batter, back to the top of the order.
Knock the cover off the ball.
Now we have another reason for long pauses in the broadcast. Not only the great views, but shrimp and grits. What do you think?
Can't get them everywhere.
No. Feet on the ground. Lemon's got it. His throw to first. A little bit high, but Hayes hangs on. So the Blue Wahoos come through with a 2-run rally in the 4th, and we're tied as we go to the 5th. Well, kids are out on the field chasing a roach. Literally. It's the roach run here at Bayfront Stadium. No one's ever caught the roach. No one.
Like in true life.
That's true. The roach wins again. What a lot of fun. Well, while we were talking to Quint Studer, the owner, one of the owners of the Blue Wahoos, this is what happened. An RBI single from Buckley, and then this single from Skipworth, or excuse me, from Vincey to score Buckley, and that made it 2-2. So now it's Tim Anderson trying to get things going again for the Barons. Anderson and May scored way back in the 1st. Since then, Adelman's been pretty tough. He's given up just 2 hits and a walk since the 1st. Anderson was at the plate when Walker was picked off first base. Breaking ball, ball 1 to Anderson.
The walk was erased by the pickoff.
Yeah. Swing and a miss. Anderson, one of those special athletes, folks. You're going to see him playing in the big leagues. B-Mac, you've been talking about it all night long. This is a guy who really didn't play much baseball. He was more of a basketball player. This one hit in the hole. And even if Vincey comes up with that, no way he gets Anderson. So another base hit for Anderson, who's 2 for 3. And now the game really begins.
Now we have the cat and mouse game where they pitch out, slide step, hold the ball on them, step off, how many times they're going to throw over. Very rare for a player to go undrafted in his freshman year of college and then get drafted in the first round in his second year.
So Anderson with his lead at first base. There's one toss over. It may not be the last. Jacob May, as you pointed out, he's in a perfect position because he's going to see a lot of fastballs.
I loved hitting behind Vince Coleman. One of my better years in Kansas City was hitting 2 when Vince Coleman led off.
Why don't we see more guys like Vince Coleman, like Ricky Henderson, like that anymore in the big leagues?
Speed is down. All across baseball, guys that run like that they're not playing. They're not playing the sport. The running game is not there. And we're in a place here in Pensacola where Billy Hamilton played some minor league ball, and that's a guy that can run a lot, but the days of the 100 stolen base guys or even the 80 stolen base guys, you're not going to probably see too much of that.
Fouled back by May. I heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard there was a theory in baseball that anything more than 50 stolen bases in a year, and the guy was stealing more on a selfish basis than he was to help the team. And I don't believe that.
I don't believe that either.
I don't either. I always thought you can steal bases. I mean, look what he's doing right now to Adelman. He's disrupting this whole game, Anderson. Adelman cannot focus all of his attention on the batter, May.
And then what he does when he throws a pitch to the plate, he's doing the slide step.
Yeah.
So that takes 2 or 3 miles an hour off your fastball because he's not lifting his front leg as high. So he's not able to drive and throw the ball as hard. Gives the hitter a little bit better chance to make solid contact and get a base hit because he's not throwing his best pitches because he's trying to be quicker to the plate to slow Anderson down. Now, I thought that if you could steal at a 70% clip, then you run as much as you have to run.
And a breaking ball for strike 3 to May. What a pitch.
But there's some teams like the Oakland A's that don't value the stolen base because they say you're running in the outs.
Yeah.
Again with the breaking ball. Starts it as a strike and dives out of the zone. And the left-handers, when he's been able to get ahead in the count, the left-handers have had a lot of trouble with that breaking ball.
And again, last week we had John from Omaha, and you were talking about reading the pitcher, and you brought up something that I thought was just absolutely fascinating. I thought about it all week, about reading that pitcher and reading his back leg. And the back leg, in your mind, told the whole story of when the pitcher was going to first or when he was going to the plate.
And how he was going to the plate. That back leg, he has a lot of tension on that leg, if you could see that. And some guys you can, some guys you can't, but that's when he's going to drive and throw the ball home.
Anderson. And timeout called at the plate by Delmonico.
But what's going on right here is they've gone through pretty much every sequence that you can do to hold a runner. Step off, pick over, slide step, pitch out, and just hold the ball. So they've done about 5 or 6 things to try to defense the stolen base against Anderson.
And a strike on the outside edge. Strike 1 to Delmonico, who's 0 for 2 in the game.
And a lot of these are called from the bench. So the pitching coach or the head coach will give the signals.
Doesn't help if you don't swing.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another pitch out.
And that's why you see Skipworth, the catcher, keep looking into the dugout. He's not looking in to see if he should call a fastball or curveball or whatever. He's looking in to see, do you want to pitch out or what? There, you see Skipworth right now looking in at his manager, Pat Kelly.
And they'll get the pitch out and the throw over a lot of times from the bench. That'll be a special sign that they'll give. But it takes a lot of energy out of a pitcher.
Yeah.
He's got to do two things right now. He's concentrating on the runner and then trying to throw quality strikes to the hitter, and it's hard to do both.
Another toss over to first.
But I just think the running game adds another dimension. You're not always going to hit. But if you have 3 or 4 guys that can run and create some runs by just putting havoc on the defense, on those days when you're not swinging the bat well, you can still score 3 or 4 runs. So I think there's always a place for it. It's just you have to use it in the right way.
Is that a foul tip? No. It turns into a wild pitch that went up over Skipworth. I thought at first that Delmonico got a piece of it, but he didn't.
Yeah, the way he swung at it, I thought it was a foul tip.
Well, it's a swing and a miss. So it's 1-2 now on Delmonico, and Anderson gets to go to second on the wild pitch. Now you can see that he was under that pitch.
He just missed it.
I don't know if they'll call it a wild pitch or a passed ball.
Pass ball.
It's a passed ball. And chopped on the ground foul. So another instance where Adelman is really in a bind just because of something freakish happening. And in this case, it's a pass ball.
Yeah, and that could be Skipworth trying to do too much because of who's on first.
Yeah.
You know, even when you don't steal, you can do some things to cross up the defense just by that threat.
Look what he's doing right now. They'll check the runner at second. The throw to first in time to get Delmonico, and Anderson still at second, but he's in scoring position with 2 out. And now I think with 2 out, if you're Adelman, you can pay more attention just to the batter.
I would pay attention to Anderson at all. A base hit, he's going to score anyway.
Right. Let him take third.
Take third if you want to.
Yeah. Right now, if I'm Adelman, I agree with you. I forget all about it. I don't do the cat and mouse game with Vincey, the shortstop. I just play it straight up, and let's go after Marrero.
The hitter is more important than the runner right now.
And it's not like you can pitch around the left-handed batting Marrero with first base open, because there's a bunch of left-handed batters right behind him. 1 strike to Marrero, who doubled his last time up. And they're still playing the cat and mouse game down at second base. 2 strikes now on Marrero. And maybe as much as anything, this is bothering Marrero as much as it's bothering Adelman.
Well, I think since they play with him and they've been around him long enough, they know how he is at second base. If it did bother a hitter,
He'd have said something.
He would say something. Yeah.
Just missed outside.
But what I would tell guys, if you're going to steal, don't jump around.
Right.
Because I'm trying to focus on hitting. So do me a favor. Don't bluff. No fake steals. None of that stuff. Go when you go and don't when you don't.
And go early.
Yeah, give me a chance.
Swing and a miss, and down goes Marrero. Good piece of pitching by Adelman. He works around the pass ball. Anderson stranded at second, and we're halfway through in a tie ball game, 2-2. Minor League Baseball's Sunday Showcase on the American Sports Network is brought to you by CoCareers.com. 2-2 our score as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning before the Wahoos come to bat here in the village. We got show and tell time. They've got their own whiskey, folks. Angel's Envy. They even brought us a couple of shot glasses. We'll have to do that after the game, right? And we have some bobbleheads.
Have a Billy Hamilton bobblehead doll here.
Yeah. Joe Scarborough from the Morning Joe. He'll be featured Tuesday night. So if you want to come out here to Pensacola Tuesday night. Bubba Watson.
It's like he's throwing out the first pitch.
Throwing out the first pitch. You don't have him with the golf or with the green jacket. And then the mascot.
Kazoo, the mascot.
Kazoo. All right. Little show and tell in Pensacola. I like this Bubba Watson thing. Ripped down the line, but foul. Blandino. He's leading things off here in the 5th inning in a 2-2 ball game. Got our wires crossed literally up here, so we're going to get all back together again. Blandino 2 for 2 in the game. 3 balls and a strike to the leadoff batter for the Blue Wahoos here in the 5th inning. Blackmar got into trouble in the 4th after 2 out, nobody on. A double from Mejia Spreen, a single by Buckley, a single by Skipworth, and then another single by Vinci. And all that with the owner, Quint Studer, in company up here in the booth.
He may have to come back.
Yeah. Well, if they're down in the bottom of the 9th, we'll invite him back.
Give him a call.
See what happens.
So we're discussing, speed and how that part of the game has kind of disappeared over the last 20 years. I think it's going to come back because the long ball and all the home runs and things of that nature with the testing, and maybe they've unjuiced the baseballs. You're going to have to manufacture runs.
Yeah. Yeah, in that era when everybody was hitting 50 home runs, you didn't really want to run yourself out of an inning. But now you do need to manufacture some runs. And even though Anderson didn't score in the top of the inning, that half inning took forever, mostly because of his speed. And it had to put all kinds of stress on the pitcher, Adelman. There's a base hit by Winker. He's 2 for 3. See what I mean about a guy, what did you call it?
Hitterish.
He's hitterish. That is a swing that just won't go into a long slump.
It should.
Yeah.
A fastball away and just nice and easy.
Man.
And left-handers seem to have better swings than right-handers. It just looks pretty.
Right. Why is that? Why do lefties always look smoother?
You never hear people say that's a smooth right-handed swing.
No.
But left-handed, like, that's just a pretty swing.
Yeah. Did you feel smoother from the left side of the plate?
I felt that my swing was better. It just, that might not have got the hits, but it looked better.
Yeah. B-Mac, of course, a great switch hitter in baseball. So you felt smoother from the left side?
It just felt like it was a better swing, that it worked better.
Marquez Smith, the batter, he's 0 for 2. He's made a couple of nice plays, though, at first base, and it's 2-0 now to Smith. You look at Marquez Smith, picked up by Cincinnati in 07. Rule 5 draft selection by Texas in 2012. And he's played the Cubs, Texas, the Red Sox, and with the Cincinnati Reds organizations. Britt Burns, the pitching coach for the Barons, comes out to chat with Blackmar. Okay, so you were a switch hitter in baseball. Did you grow up that way, or did you just kind of turn into it?
I started tinkering around with it when I was young, about 10, 11 years old.
Was that by suggestion of your dad, Hal McRae, who was a right-handed batter solely?
A little bit of suggestion from him because he platooned with Bernie Carbo in the outfield. And he said, if you're going to play high level of ball. If you're a switch hitter, you have a better chance of playing every day. And then the other fact was the kids I played with in the neighborhood were left-handed hitters. And being a righty, I hit the ball in a yard where a lady would steal our baseballs and wouldn't give it back to us. So I had to learn how to hit left-handed to stay in the games that we were playing in the neighborhood.
Action in the bullpen out there. Tim Crabb is up and throwing, and now a walk, a single, and another walk, and they're loaded with no one out. And that'll do it for Blackmar. So Julio Viñas will come out, and Blackmar will not survive the 5th inning. He goes 4+ in this game, and he's still responsible for the 3 guys that are out there. So we have a pitching change in Pensacola, and we'll be back. Well, it's a pink out here at beautiful Bayfront Stadium in Pensacola. Well, thank you for that nice welcome. Tim Crabb comes out of the bullpen for Birmingham, and he comes in a real jam, bases loaded, nobody out.
You're just trying to limit the damage here. Hopefully you give up 1, 2 runs at the most. Try to get a ground ball. Crabb is a sinker slider type pitcher. His out pitch is his breaking ball. And, you're not throwing him in a situation saying you get out of it with no runs allowed, but let's see how minimal we can keep this.
Well, he's got to face Juan Duran, a guy that last year led Pensacola with 17 home runs. And Duran comes to the plate with those bases full. Blandino at third, Winker at second, Marquez Smith on at first. Duran 0 for 2 in the game. He struck out looking his last time up.
Blue Wahoos can really do some damage right here. Duran needs to just stay focused on getting a good pitch to hit. And that was not a good pitch to hit.
No, that wasn't it.
Hitter
Got
has
a
to
little
remember,
anxious.
Yeah, hitters have to remember the pitcher is the one in trouble in this situation.
Good point. He's the one with all the pressure on him.
Base it.
Not now. 2 strikes on Duran.
Good breaking ball.
Does it feel different to bat with the bases loaded?
It shouldn't.
Right.
If you're, a lot of times you have a good plan in the on-deck circle. Somewhere between the on-deck circle and the batter's box, or you forget it. And that's the difference between guys that like this situation and guys that kind of shy away from it, is sticking with your game plan, not making this moment any bigger than any other at bat. All you're trying to do is get a good pitch to hit and drive it somewhere.
Loaded with Wahoos right now. Breaking ball. He's getting a steady die to those right now.
Well, Duran got himself in trouble swinging at the first pitch.
Yes.
You know, a first pitch in a situation like this, to me, has to be something that is a perfect pitch, a fastball, something you can drive, and you're hitting it out of the ballpark or driving it in the alley, or you're hooking the ball foul. You're not rolling over it like he did on that first pitch. And now this has set up something where now he's just got to battle.
Well, outside, 2-2. So he's worked the count a little bit more in his favor. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And again, with the bases loaded, Blandino, Winker, and Smith aboard. There was another breaking ball, and that one hung up.
That was a mistake.
That was a mistake. And he got away with it. Crabb knows it. And there's the curveball that got him looking back in the 4th inning.
I got to believe that a breaking ball is coming, but probably won't get a hanger like he did on the last pitch he fouled off.
That was another breaking ball, and he was able to check in time. Now nowhere to put him.
I've had pitchers tell me this. They'd rather give up 1 run than 4 runs in a situation like that. So they don't mind walking a guy if they're going to try to throw a perfect pitch as far as maybe a breaking ball down instead of grooving a fastball and give up a grand slam.
Another breaking ball, and he got him swinging.
So his thinking is, if I walk him, so be it, but I'm not giving in.
That would have been ball 4 to Duran if he was able to lay off.
Yeah, that's ball 4. But Duran is thinking, I'm getting something hard, and did not get it. That's confidence as a pitcher in your stuff and a catcher in calling the right pitch and being able to say, I'm also going to block it with a runner on third.
And now Crabb, he's in a position to get out of this without any damage.
Now you're 1 pitch away.
Right. Possible double play in order now. Infield in double play depth for Mejia Spreen. Now he doubled his last time up. On the outside edge, strike 1 to Seth Mejia Spreen.
That last at bat is a perfect example of a hitter getting himself out by the way he went at that at bat. You have to have in the back of your mind, you know, they're throwing me breaking balls all night. Sit on one.
There's a hot shot to Delmonico to second for 1. The relay in time. What a job by Tim Crabb. He comes on with the bases loaded and nobody out. He strikes out Duran and gets Mejia Spreen into a double play.
1 pitch away. He got that 1 pitch. Delmonico around the horn. Just like that.
Well, it's 2-2, but the Blue Wahoos feeling like they should have the lead right now after having the bases loaded and nobody out. But it's 2-2, and Reggie Evans joins us. He's a local hero, a guy who grew up here in Pensacola and now starring in the NBA, one of the best defensive players in the NBA, and a guy playing for Sacramento. Welcome.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's good. Now, you grew up here, but then went to Coffeyville Junior College in Kansas. How did that transition begin?
At that time, I needed to be far away from home, you know, because I knew if I stayed close to home, I probably wouldn't be in the position that I am now. So I was mentally strong to realize that. And I had a good friend of mine that we grew up together. He stayed upstairs for me. He went to Coffeyville first. So by him going, I'm like, you know, I'm going to go too. So that's how I managed to go. And the coach came recruiting me.
And then playing in the Big Ten at Iowa, you know. And did that kind of turn things around for you in your life?
Yeah, it did tremendously because everything kind of changed around when I did not graduate from high school. So I had to go to summer school, and I graduated. That when things kind of got real serious for me and stuff. So Iowa, me going to Iowa, that was like one of the best times of my life. You know, I cherish that, you know, for the bottom of my heart.
You're not playing in the NBA with Sacramento. Again, you're signed for next year?
Well, I'm a free agent right now, so we're in the process of negotiation.
All right, folks.
You know,
all right, let's go. Let's get him signed up.
So we should know something within a week or two.
Good.
Yeah, so far as where I go to. So
you come back, though, to Pensacola, to your home every winter. Why?
Yeah, this is where I live
every
at.
Summer, I should say.
Yeah, this is where I live at. I love home. There's nothing like being home. We got great weather. We got great people here. You know, so there's nothing like home. You know, like nice, slow-paced life compared to the fast pace, you know, when I'm out of town.
So what do you do while you're home?
When I'm at home, I be with my family, my friends, and I just kind of relax for like, depends on when the season over. I just kind of relax to the end of July. I just have a lot of fun with everybody, vacation and stuff. Then after 4th of July, that following Monday is back to getting right for the season and stuff like that. So, you know, so I do a little bit of everything at home.
But you also give back to this community. I know you have the Reggie Evans Foundation, and tell us a little bit about that and what you're doing in the community.
Yeah, my foundation is based on how I was raised up. You know, my mom, she had 4 kids, and all of us had different dads. And, you know, I grew up in a single parent. So basically it's just based on single parents that giving back to the single parents that's are least fortunate, no matter you're a father raising your kids or a mother, you know, so we're not being biased to, you know, nobody, even though I was raised up by my mom and a lot of my friends raised up by their moms. So those are some of the main targets that I focus on and stuff, kind of giving back from that. So hopefully it can continue to grow to where I can hopefully give somebody some scholarships and stuff like that also too in the near future.
And you also are involved in charity softball tournaments right here.
Yeah. You know,
now we're going to show you a little bit. Maybe show you at the plate.
What kind of softball player are you?
I'm terrible. That's my nephew right there, Ryan. He just caught that big time catch.
Good catch.
Yeah, so.
And there he is at the plate, right?
Yeah, there he at the plate, yeah. So.
Oh, man, he does it all.
Yeah, so we got some athletes with my DNA. Yeah, so we got some good athletes in my family. So, you know, the Wahoos been very great, and, you know, as in seeing my vision and making my vision come for everybody can see my vision and stuff. Like, Wahoo been great, Quinn Snuder, everybody here just first class. I love these guys, and they help me out to make sure my charity event softball game is, you know, first class and successful.
Well, Reggie, I mean, it says a lot about you, because you could just come back and relax and not do anything. But to give back to the community in the way that you do, I think it says volumes about you and how you've grown up as a young man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You have to give back. You know, because by me playing in the NBA, I get a chance to see how the organization give back. And a lot of them kids are blessed to have a NBA team or an NFL team or NHL team or a Major League team, whereas in Pensacola, we don't have that. You know, so that's why I try to make sure I give back and make sure I bring a lot of my colleagues that's on TV, bring them in town and stuff like that, so these kids can get a chance to see them in person instead of just on TV. You know, because we're a football state. You know, so
yeah, I grew up in Bradenton.
Yeah.
So Emmitt Smith back in the day when he came down with Pensacola Scamia came down and played Southeast in Bradenton. I went over to saw that game. I went to Manatee High School in Bradenton, so we had a lot of battles with teams up here. Back in the 80s and early 90s.
Emmitt Smith was one of the main reasons why I started to have my softball event and bring players down, because he had a golf event at Marcus Point. He brought a lot of the players down, and I was a young kid, and it just stuck in my head ever since then, you know, so, you know, Emmitt made a difference in me, you know, by doing that one little thing, you know, me as a little kid, so hopefully, you know, mine can make a kid change his life.
Yeah, my last trip to Pensacola was Emmitt Smith and his parents. They had a memorabilia store, and I came to sign autographs.
Oh yeah,
for them, like in '91 or '92.
Yeah, I think in Town and Country Plaza area. What you talking about? Yeah. That was sweet.
Reggie Evans is our guest, NBA player, a guy who went to University of Iowa, still wears Iowa basketball proudly.
Yeah, definitely. I told you that was the best thing that ever happened to me in my life, going to Iowa. You know, I cherish for life. I got it tattooed on my arms and everything. You know, so I'm black and gold for life.
When did you think, okay, I've got a shot at playing not only at Coffeyville or in Iowa, but actually make a career of this?
As far as when I was in high school, my biggest thing was to play Division I basketball, because just seeing that atmosphere on TV, on the student session, how excited it was. So when I got to junior college, and I got a chance to be around major Division I players, because at my junior college, we had like one of the top football programs also too. And by me being in that environment, that when I just started thinking big, like, you know, I'm going to go to the NBA. It was more like I didn't want to be a part of it. Within my own confidence, within myself, I'm like, I'm going to be a part of the NBA. I'm going to go play in the NBA. So that when everything just started getting real big then.
When the NBA career is done, and I hope it's not for a long time for you, but when it is Pensacola home?
Yeah, this home. Yeah, this home. I love home.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, Quinn Snuder, he's doing a great job of just adding things to the city to make it grow. And by him bringing the Wahoos down here, this first class, this big time. So the city is definitely growing, and he's one of the main persons why the city is growing. So thank God for somebody like Quinn Snuder.
Well, thank God for you.
Yeah,
thanks, Reggie.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for all you're doing in the community. Really, really great. Reggie Evans, one of the good guys, and so glad to see him doing so well. And look for news on Reggie Evans signing with another NBA team soon. Well, we go to the bottom half of the sixth inning in a 2-2 ball game, and the Blue Wahoos are probably still crying a little bit about their opportunity, Brian, in the fifth.
Bases loaded, nobody out, everything's set up for a big inning. Put a big cricket number up there. Crab comes in and saves the day up until this point. Gets the big strikeout of Durant. I think that was the biggest at-bat of the inning to get that first out, and then the 5-4-3 double play. Bases loaded, no outs. 2 minutes later, no runs, 3 outs.
So now it'll be Sean Buckley to lead things off in the 6th inning. He's followed by Skip Worth and then Vincey. Tim Crabb couldn't have been better. You talked about him limiting the damage. I mean, he comes in with the bases loaded, nobody out. He not only limited the damage, there was no damage done.
No, he said limit, nah, there's nothing.
Man, I'll tell you what, Mark Blackmar, the starting pitcher, owes him a dinner after the game. Because that saved Blackmar. He'll get a no decision now in the contest. All 3 of those runners for the Blue Wahoos were the responsibility of Blackmar, and they all were left stranded. In fact, Pensacola has now stranded 8 base runners in this game. The 1-1 pitch to Buckley is in there for a strike, 1-2. Buckley's 1 for 2 in the game. Strike 3 called. 2 strikeouts now for Crabb.
That's called paint on the corner. There's nothing you can do. Catcher did not move.
All you can do is that look.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just, oh, okay. I'll go sit down.
And it might have been a ball off the plate or so, lengthwise, but when you square up the catcher like that, you're going to get the call.
Skipworth, the batter, way up high, ball 1. Skipworth 1 for 2 in the game. Kyle Skipworth has been called up by Cincinnati twice this year. He didn't get into a game, though.
But he got big league service time.
Yep. What does that mean? How much service time are you looking for?
Looking for, the clock starts ticking from day 1. And you know, what you can do with that is in negotiations and things like that down the road, if you have some big league service time, you can get a little bit more money even on your, as we talked about split contracts last week. Big league time adds money to your contract. Even if he doesn't get in a game, he could go up there for 3 weeks and not get in a game, but he gets 3 weeks of big league time.
And then there's service time and with regards to benefits once your playing career is done.
Pension and insurance and things of that nature. And then all just the experience of being at the big league level and learning from the major leaguer. You know, you'd like to get in the game, you'd like to play, you'd like to contribute, but just being up there and watching how they go about their business, I think that helps guys out to when they come back to the minor leagues, they have a little bit better understanding of what it takes. You know, going to big league camp for me was eye-opening, even though I was around with my dad playing. As a player, going to my first big league camp opened my eyes to how hard these guys do work, even though they're making a lot of money and have, you know, look at the back of the baseball card, there are a lot of great stats and things like that. They still, you know, the ones that are very good were there early. They stayed late. They studied their craft. They did those type of things, and that always stuck with me. It's a lot of guys can be great for a year, but they can't prolong those things and continue to do what they need to do over and over again, because sometimes guys don't work as hard once they feel like they're established and they made it.
Brian McRae, of course, our expert analyst, and BMAC started for many years in the major leagues. His dad, Hal McRae, also considered one of the best designated hitters in the history of baseball. Here's a little chopper out to short. Lemon charges and fires, and that'll do it. I want to talk to you more about that learning experience when you were around big league camp. When we come back, we go to the 7th inning in a 2-2 ball game. Well, looking ahead here on the American Sports Network, a week from tonight, we'll be in the International League AAA baseball as the Columbus Clippers will be hosting the Gwinnett Braves. That starts at 6 o'clock Eastern next Sunday night on the Sunday Showcase here on ASN from Columbus, Ohio. With Brian McRae, I'm Dave Armstrong. Glad to have you with us here at beautiful Bayfront Stadium in Pensacola in a 2-2 ball game. Good game as well. 2 runs by Birmingham in the first inning. That was answered by 2 runs in the 4th inning by the Wahoos. And now a new pitcher for the Blue Wahoos. This is Patrick Schuster, and with 8 left-handed batters in the lineup for the Barons, you knew the first guy out of the pen was going to be a lefty.
Yeah, they're going to throw a lefty. Schuster is funky lefty as he throws kind of 3/4, and that's hard for left-handers to pick up. We'll see if the Barons, if they try to counteract that by putting some of their right-handers in the ball game now.
Right now it's Marcus Lemon who's playing shortstop tonight to give Tim Anderson a little bit of a breather. Anderson is the DH tonight. And Lemon 0 for 2. He was robbed of a hit his last time up by a great diving catch from Bryson Smith, the center fielder. Swing and a miss. I want to get back to what you were saying about being invited to big league camp. And of course you grew up around the ballpark. Your dad, of course, playing for the Reds and then the Royals, and you were around the ballpark all the time. What was different, though, about the experience as a player as opposed to just being a kid?
As a kid, I was out there for fun. I was enjoying it, and bat boy, ball boy, doing all those things. You know, as an 18-year-old, it was my job.
Yeah.
And it was something that I wanted to do long term. And I saw what it did for guys that were successful. You know, they were able to take care of their family and their family. You know, it was a lot more at stake than just running around as a little kid.
Swing and a miss on a pitch way outside. Schuster strikes out Lemon. That, by the way, is the 9th Baron to strike out tonight.
Sidearm and dropping a breaking ball on a lefty. Lefty on lefty crime right there. Now we saw in last week's ball game, Coleman, the righty that was kind of funky as far as his delivery from the right side and how righties had some trouble on him. It's the same way lefty on lefty in that last at bat.
Kenyon Walker, the batter. He singled his last time up, but then was picked off first base.
I just looked at everything different once I was a player, and it's your job, it's your occupation, and it's not all fun and games.
Mm-hmm. Who were some of those guys that you looked up to and the way they prepared for a game?
Just watching George Brett, won 3 batting titles, and he was in the cage early, stayed late. He was transitioning from playing third base to first base, was out there early work with all the rookies and the minor league guys taking ground balls.
So he never took it for granted.
No, he didn't have to do that. He worked like a guy that was fighting for a job. And I thought that was how you were supposed to act once you got established. I learned from guys that did things a little bit unusual as far as, where their stature in the game was. They didn't act like that.
Right.
They went about it like they were still fighting for a job in spring training. And I like being around those guys early in my career because it made me not take anything for granted. And I feel sorry for some of the young guys that come up in the big leagues now where they're around guys that don't do that. And they think that the way to go about your business in the big leagues is like, you're on some teams that don't have a veteran leadership, veteran presence, or you have the wrong people doing the leading.
Yes.
And, you can't fault those kids for following that lead because that's all they know.
Right.
I just was fortunate enough to be around the right guys.
Just missed outside 2-2. I still remember in George Brett's last year, 1993, and as he was winding the season down, and everybody was asking him, what do you want to do in your last at bat? And I thought he had the classiest answer. He said, you know what I really want to do as we look at this 2-2 pitch? Swing and a miss. Did he get a piece of it? Nope. So down goes Walker, second straight strikeout for Schuster. But I remember him saying, what I really want to do in my last at bat is I want to hit a routine ground ball to second base and run hard to first to show the kids that's the way the game should be played.
And unfortunately, when somebody does it, people look like, wow, that's odd.
Yeah, I know.
Or if there's a pop-up hit and a guy's halfway between first and second when the ball's caught, people think that's odd. But if you do things the right way all the time, that's just how you do it. And that's how I was taught. So you ran out ground balls, you ran out fly balls, you did those type of things, not because you were being made to do it. It was just because that was the right thing to do.
That's
how you played the game.
Yeah. And if you didn't do it, those veterans would give you an earful.
Right.
There's Anderson with yet another hit, his third of the night. Anderson has hit above 450 this year against left-handed pitchers.
He wears out lefties.
Wears them out. And now, again, he hasn't had a stolen base yet in this game, but he has created all kinds of havoc on the base paths. He's 3 for 4 in the game with a run scored.
We'll see right now if he has some kind of book on Schuster's move.
Yes.
Guys that I didn't have a good read on, I just get a big lead and go on their first move. Which would mean,
well, you look at Anderson, and he is the #1 prospect, and we're seeing good reason why here tonight. And again, hitting 351. I think over what I read was over his last month, he's hitting 467 against left-handed pitchers, but still 351 for the year is outstanding.
bad thing for him is probably there's not a whole lot of lefties around in the game anymore.
Well, we highlighted two guys tonight. We highlighted Tim Anderson, and he's 3 for 4. We highlighted Jesse Winker, and he's 2 for 3.
They're making us look good.
Yeah. Because they are good. They're each the #1 prospect in their respective organizations. That's not his best move. But just to show Anderson that I know you're there.
I think this would be one of the candidates where I would go first move, which means as soon as he lifts his leg, you take off. You get a bigger lead. And you're just guessing that he's going to the plate.
Now with that front foot, he's got to step toward first base or it's a ball.
Yeah, there's a fine line there, and I think all lefties have a balk move where they step halfway towards the plate and first base and make that throw over. And that's why I like going on first move on some lefties that have a high leg kick.
And he's going there on a breaking ball. No chance to get Anderson. Ball scoots into center field, but Smith comes up to get it. Another stolen base for Tim Anderson.
And it looked like he went on first move. He took off because the leg kick was not high. Let's watch the break. That looked like a first move. He's an exciting kid to watch.
Yeah, he is. That's one of the things I love about what we're doing here at ASN on this Sunday showcase is we're literally showcasing guys that you're going to watch in the big leagues. And this is one of them.
Some of them you may see next month. And with the White Sox falling further and further out of contention for that wild card spot, they may be bringing up some guys to give them a look. And Anderson may be one of those guys.
1-2 the count to May. Swing and a miss, and down he goes. So while all that's going on, Patrick Schuster comes out of the pen to strike out the side. It is stretch time here in Pensacola, and we're tied 2-2. You're watching Sunday Night Showcase on ASN. Well, we go to the home half of the 7th inning here from beautiful Bayfront Stadium in Pensacola with it. Score tie between the Barons and the Blue Wahoos. 2-2 our score. We'll look at some of those top prospects in the Cincinnati Reds organization, and right at the top of the list, Jesse Winker.
And he's probably in line for promotion because the Reds are out of it. Stevenson has a good chance of being called up, the #2 guy there, the right-handed pitcher, and the other guys are a few years. They're advanced A and rookie ball, so they're 3 or 4 years before they get big league ready. But you could see Winker getting some ABs. Why not?
Why not?
Give him that experience, get him some ABs.
It starts the clock ticking on what's going on with regards to
arbitration
and all those
free
kinds of
agency.
things.
But you need to know, if you're the Cincinnati Reds, is he ready, or does he need another year or two of seasoning, or do we need to go out and get somebody in the offseason?
Right. I mean, he's a guy, 5 years from now, he's going to be 26 years old. So you've got to find out now. I mean, so it's
You're going
okay
to pay
to
him
start the
now or
clock
pay him
out.
later.
Yeah,
If he's good, you don't mind.
Right. And again, his manager, Pat Kelly, has had a lot to say about his development and what he has been able to do. So after the 7th inning stretch, time to get back to some baseball. And it's the top of the order up for the Blue Wahoos. Tim Crabb has been really special out of the pen. He has retired every batter he has faced, all 5 of them. And in one case, he got Mejia's Breen to hit into a double play. He struck out 2 of those 5. And there's a chopper down to short. Lemon's got it. Throws on the run. The throw a little bit high, but he's got a tall first baseman in Hayes.
He can get away with it.
Yeah. And the tall guys, the tall first baseman, they say throw it high rather than low.
Yes, they'd rather have it high. They can stretch and get it. Hayes is 6'4". Helps out to have a big target over there at first base.
So 1 pitch, 1 away here in the 7th. And that brings up Alex Blandino. And so far, the Barons have not solved Blandino. He's 2 for 2 with a walk, so he's been aboard 3 times. Blandino in the top 10 as far as prospects for the Reds.
Cody.
What a stop by Delmonico. That was almost looked like a bad hop, and he was able to get it. That was a beautiful play by Nicky Delmonico.
Now, Nicky played for me in 2010 on the USA national team. He was a shortstop in high school, played some third base. He was playing first base at the time, so he's athletic enough to do that.
Did that come up on him? And
that came up. That's a reaction play.
Man, that's good stuff. Good play, Delmonico. So now 2 out in the 7th, and here's Winker. 2 singles for Winker tonight. He's 2 for 3. Broken bat. Ouch. The bat almost out to second base position. It's sitting on the dirt, and the ball goes out into short left center field. And Tim Crabb picks up where he left off. 3 up, 3 down in the 7th. We go to the 8th, still tied at 2. Sun starting to set here in Pensacola, Florida. Our Sunday showcase here on the American Sports Network. Right along the bay here at Bayfront Stadium. Sellout crowd on hand, 5,038. And some of them are just hanging out there by the marina. The dogs have come to the ballpark here tonight, and all of these spectators have been witness to a very good ball game. 2-2 as we head to the 8th inning. By the way, it's the 21st sellout of the year here, and the 2nd time on a Sunday they've had a sellout. 21 sellouts this year, the 2nd best attendance in the Southern League with the smallest stadium. Strike 1 as Schuster begins work in his 2nd inning. And he faces Nicky Delmonico, who is 0 for 3 in the game. Delmonico trying to keep a 6-game hitting streak alive. Strike 2. So far, we have not seen Julio Viñas go to his bench. And Schuster, who was traded by the Diamondbacks over to the Reds back in the end of June. He is really tearing up these left-handed batters. Fouled out of play. Pensacola can go into sole possession of first place with a victory here tonight. Birmingham will be in first place no matter what happens. They had a 4-game lead in their division starting play today. And that one, a curveball that stayed up, and it's drilled into the corner. Duran goes over to get it. His throw into second base is not in time. It's the line a little bit.
That's a good job by Delmonico out of the box, thinking too. If he's not running hard out of the box, he can't get there. He hits it, sees where it is. Duran gets over to it quickly, but momentum taking him towards the foul line, not able to make a good throw.
So a lead double by Delmonico, and let's see now how the Barons play it. Marrero, their cleanup batter, is up now. He struck out twice and has a double in the game. They do bunt their cleanup batter. A look at third, no play there, and the throw to first, and the sack is completed. Delmonico goes to third.
Well, that's the cleanup guy just giving himself up. Tough lefty, may have a hard time trying to hook that ball and pull it to the right side. I can get it down, get him in a scoring position. It's the 8th inning. As the game goes on, you're going to do some things differently.
If it's righty versus lefty there,
he's swinging.
He's swinging because he's thinking I can pull the ball and get him over.
And get him in. I got a chance to get a base hit.
Yeah. So instead of giving himself up, he says, well, least I'm going to do is get him over. And now a strike to Danny Hayes, who has an RBI single back in the first. That's when the Barons scored both their runs. Infield is drawn in now for the Blue Wahoos. A ball and a strike to Hayes. What does this feel like as a hitter with that infield drawn in? Can you feel that?
You can sense it, but you still can't make that change your at bat. Hayes is trying to look for something elevated, something up in the zone that he can drive through the infield.
Way outside. Something he can get airborne, right? To
or
get
not
that
even
runner
not
home.
even airborne, just something elevated that he can hit something hard through the infield. If the ball is down or a sinker, it's more chance of him beating it into the ground. And with the infield in, even though Delmonico may be going on contact, which means he's going to break when the ball hits the bat, beating the ball into the ground is probably not going to get it done.
Breaking ball just missed. Skipworth tried to frame it, but it's 3-1 now to Hayes.
Infield plays back, you can beat the ball in the ground and work the middle and get that run in. You can change your approach depending on how the infield is playing. With the infield playing in, until you get 2 strikes, you're just trying to battle, get something up.
Nice stop, Blandino. He comes home with a throw, but it's wide of the target and on contact. You were right, B-Mac. Delmonico comes home to score.
That was a good read by Nicky Delmonico coming on contact. Probably wasn't the right play. Blandino to throw that ball to home because after he laid out, didn't have an opportunity to make a good throw, and even if it was on the money, it looks like Delmonico got a great jump and he would have beat it. But that's a called play from your third base coach telling you we're going on contact. You read the ball down and you're going home.
I mean, the fear there is going on contact, you can get doubled up pretty easily.
Yeah, you're risking something.
Right.
You can get doubled up, the ball can get hit right at the third baseman, the ball can get hit right back to the pitcher. But what you're also doing is you're able to score a run on a ball hit like that, because if he's reading that to make it be through, he's not going.
This could be 2. The tag for 1 and the throw to first for the double play. So that'll do it for the Barons, but they cash in the lead double by Delmonico and the sack bunt by their cleanup hitter as Danny Hayes is able to get home a run. And then the double play to limit the damage. You're watching Minor League Baseball's Sunday Night Showcase on ASN. Well, it's 3-2 in favor of the Barons now as we go to the home half of the 8th inning. So far in this series, the Blue Wahoos have been able to come back and win the first 2 games in comeback fashion. We'll see if they can do that here with 6 outs to go, and they're facing Tim Crabb, who has been impossible to hit so far. He has retired all 8 Pensacola batters that he has faced.
And not even a hard hit ball.
You're right.
He's made it look easy.
Nothing out of the infield really yet. And Marquez Smith will come to the plate to lead things off in the 8th inning against Crabb. And remember, Crabb was the guy who came in with the bases loaded and nobody out in the 5th inning. He struck out Duran and got Mejias Breen to hit into a double play. That right there was the biggest play of the game.
I think the bat to Duran where he got him on that strikeout.
High pop foul. Delmonico comes over. Does he have room? Not quite. He goes falling into the stands. He's okay. Just out of his reach.
See him sticking his hand out to find where the railing is, and then the wind kind of took the ball away from him, and then falling on the concrete there in the stands. That's always dangerous when you get close to that railing. Hopefully he's all right.
Good effort by Delmonico, just out of his reach. And again, the fan over there, he's not in the way. He's got every right to the ball in the stands.
The fan's not doing anything wrong.
Right. So Smith lives to bat another day. Swing and a miss, though. 2 strikes on Smith.
Because in that situation, the fan is trying to catch the ball.
Yes.
He's not worried about helping the player from falling into the stand. He's looking at the ball, not looking at the player.
Right. And he's not interfering with the player because the ball is in the stands. Now, when you lean out over the rail as a fan, then you're interfering with the play.
Right, and that's a different scenario.
Breaking ball up high. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Smith. Now full count. The last thing Crabb wants to do is walk the lead man.
Especially after they just took the lead.
Right.
You want to throw a 0 back up there and keep the momentum.
Chopper down to Delmonico. 1 out in the 8th.
Down 1. Let's do this, baby.
So it's 9 straight retired by Crabb. 10 if you count a double play. And now he faces the first man he faced with those bases loaded in Juan Duran. And in Duran, I'm sure he's going to see another steady diet of breaking balls, which he saw the last time he was out.
If not, it's going to be fastballs, strikes. It's going to be fastballs off the plate. Try to get him away with breaking ball.
Duran's a guy that can hurt you with the long ball, even though he has only 1 home run this year. He hit 17 last year. He takes for ball 1. There's a strike at the knees. You can see him shaking his head. Doesn't like that call. Fooled by that pitch, and it's 1-2.
He can bounce one in the dirt right now and get him.
Duran had a fracture to his right arm at the end of last year.
There you go.
I think Duran was anticipating that ball in the dirt and didn't offer. He heard you.
He got a steady diet of breaking balls, and I think if he's going to get through this at bat, he's going to have to hit a mistake breaking ball. Target set down.
He didn't offer, and it's a full count. Second full count in a row.
I doubt if he throws him a breaking ball or throws him a fastball.
You throw him another breaking ball?
Throw him another breaking ball.
Well, put down the sign for
fastball away.
Fastball away. Tried to pull it, and Lemon's got it. Good job by Hayes to stay on the bag. Well, in Birmingham, we thank those of you who are watching on My 68 WABM and here in Pensacola on My 35 WFGX. Thanks for watching our Sunday showcase. In fact, got a message from Doug Bell, one of our announcers here on the American Sports Network. He's watching on My 68 in Birmingham.
I was there in May, did a Sanford and Eastern Carolina, or Western Carolina baseball game. One of the longest games I've ever done. It's almost a 7-hour game.
7 hours?
Yeah, it was like 6 hours, 55 minutes. It was crazy.
Long rain delay?
No, it was just a long game.
Oh my goodness. That's unbelievable.
It started in the early afternoon, ended late at night.
I still remember the game I did at Coors Field back when, before they put the balls in the humidor. It was 16-15 the final score with the Rockies and the Dodgers. And Vin Scully afterward had the great line of, Coors Field, the place where the fat lady never sings. Fouled out of play.
It was probably the wildest game I've ever been a part of as an announcer.
I can imagine. It didn't go extra innings.
Yeah, it went extra innings.
How many? 20?
Where did it go? I'm going to find it. Hold on. All right. I'm thinking now. It got me.
You just remember the time of the game. And that would stick out in anyone's mind. Hit on the ground to the right side. DeMichael's got it. And that'll do it. And the beat goes on for Tim Crabb. Wow. He has retired every batter he's faced, all 11 of them. What a job. Still 3-2 Barons. Well, coming up next Sunday on the American Sports Network, our Sunday showcase will take us to Columbus, Ohio. 6 o'clock Eastern, the start of the game between the Clippers and the Gwinnett Braves from the International League AAA Baseball next Sunday night here on ASN. And this girl here is a real hot dog. I mean, she is wearing a hot dog outfit. That's got to be hot. A hot dog. Well, we go to the 9th inning. The Barons, they got a run in the 8th to take a 3-2 lead. Now they face Kevin Shackelford, the third pitcher used by Pensacola here tonight. Shackelford will face the bottom third of the order, Nieto, Lemon, and Walker. By the way, we were talking about Doug Bell, one of our announcers here in the American Sports Network, and Doug will be working in studio a lot this year for us on our football coverage in Conference USA. And he just sent me another note saying that his dad is in the Barons Hall of Fame. He was a play-by-play announcer in the late 40s and the 50s.
That's what he thinks about you.
So that's where Doug got all of his ability. Just like you.
They played at that the old stadium there in Birmingham that is still being in use for like Legion Ball and things like that. It's been around since I think the 1930s or so.
Hey, by the way, we're doing some fact checking on your game that was 14 hours long or whatever you said it was.
It was only 5 hours long.
All right, 5 hours. All right. That's still a long time. And it was a 9-inning game.
9-inning game.
What was the final score? 16-14. They told me. Maybe they didn't tell you. 16-14.
Yeah. Both teams had like 6 or 7 run leads. They lost. You got delirious by the end of the game.
Oh, my. 2-2 the count to Nieto, who is 0 for 3 in the game. Way up high. Well, if you're looking ahead, the 9th inning for the Blue Wahoos, it's the bottom third of their order due up, and Buckley, Skipworth, and Vincey. But keep this in mind about Skipworth. He's been on a home run tear of late. He has 10 home runs this year. Line down the third baseline, but foul. Well, it's either a half-game lead or half-game behind for Pensacola after tonight.
With about 3 weeks left in the season.
Yeah.
A little less than a month.
I think the 7th of September is the last day of the regular season, and of course they play first half, second half, which is great in the case of Pensacola this year because they were 16 back in the first half. That's the 3rd time that Nieto has struck out tonight. 12 strikeouts for the pitching staff of the Blue Wahoos tonight.
A fastball, rearing back and throw it right by him. Nieto has to feel good about the fact that he's putting down the right fingers when he's catching tonight. That's right. That's how you got to feel about it. It's like, I'm not worth a darn at the plate, but behind the dish, I'm putting down the right fingers, and we got a chance to win this ball game.
Here's Lemon. He's 0 for 3. Again, robbed of a hit by center fielder Bryson Smith on a diving catch in right center field.
Ouch.
Always ask guys, how does that feel? Well, it's easy. Just take a hammer out and just beat it on top of your foot. You want to know how that feels. I'm surprised there aren't more broken bones, toes and bones in the foot.
I think they are, but guys just play with them because you can't put a cast on a broken toe.
Yeah. Look out. Our camera crew down there is having to dodge plays. Everybody okay? All right. Shaking his head. Even our camera crew wearing pink tonight. Swing and a miss, and down goes Lemon. 13 strikeouts for the pitching staff of Pensacola.
Couldn't tell if that was a split. That ball just disappeared.
It did.
Went straight down and disappeared.
There's all our pink shirts. Real men wear pink tonight. Kenyon Walker, the batter, he has struck out twice in this game. There's that ball. It just dives out of the zone.
It's like that split finger fastball that doesn't get there.
Come on, Chuo, you got that ankle brace.
One and one to Walker. If Walker can reach base, we'll see Tim Anderson again. The #1 prospect for the White Sox.
Some very defensive swings right now.
Last night, Anderson was in that on-deck circle right there, and Walker had like a check swing foul that just right by his chin in that on-deck circle. He just ran for the dugout. Said, I'm not standing there anymore.
Now, that's a little close where the on-deck circles are to home plate.
Swing and a miss, and Shackelford strikes out the side. 14 strikeouts by the Blue Wahoo pitchers here tonight. What an outstanding job on the mound. But Pensacola needs a run to tie it in the bottom of the ninth. Let's set up the bottom of the ninth by taking you back to the first inning when Tim Anderson leads off with a double. Then with runners at first and second, Hayes gets a base hit, followed by a base hit from Joey DeMichael. That makes it 2-0 in favor of the Barons. Then in the fourth inning with 2 out, nobody on, all of a sudden a little rally here. Base hit by Buckley to score a run, and Vincey with a 2-out single. And that scored Buckley to make it 2-2. And then all of a sudden, with the bases loaded, nobody out, Crabb comes out of the bullpen, induces a strikeout and a double play to get no damage done. And then in the 8th inning, on a fielder's choice, Danny Hayes, he's able to get home the go-ahead run as Delmonico scores, and that brings us here to the bottom of the 9th inning with Sean Buckley leading things off against another new pitcher for the Barons, Zach Eisler. Eisler making his 16th appearance of the year with an ERA of just over 3. And a swing and a miss by Buckley. Crabb could not have been better out of the bullpen. He'll get the win if the Barons hang on to this victory. And Crabb was special. In my mind, he's the player of the game for Birmingham.
He stopped it. Anything that Pensacola had going, he stopped it right there. Any of the momentum.
And there's a base hit by Buckley to lead things off. The Blue Wahoos have rallied in every game in this series. Can they do it again? Now do you ask Skipworth to bunt here, a guy who has 10 home runs? Delmonico in on the grass at third. Not bunting, and a foul at the plate. Again, Skipworth with 10 home runs on the year. He's on the DL, activated right after the All-Star break. Missed a month with a sprained ankle. He's hit 4 home runs in the last 6 games, including 3 in the last 3. But he's down in the count 0-2. Skipworth, a former first-round draft pick by the Marlins back in 2008. Chopper down the line, but foul. Tying run at first. Winning run at the plate. Outside, ball 1. Alex Pelaez is the coach down at third. Pat Kelly, the manager, stays in the dugout. Swing and a miss, and down goes Skipworth.
Good pitch. Ball had a little sink to it, going away from Skipworth.
So now Eisler will turn his attention to Zach Vincey, and Buckley, the tying run, stays at first base. Vincey, who went to Pepperdine. Swing and a miss. In fact, in 2012, he was a recipient of the Brooks Wallace Award that's given to the nation's top collegiate shortstop. Vincey 1 for 3, an RBI single in this game.
Didn't miss by much.
In case you're wondering about Buckley at first, he hasn't even attempted a stolen base this year. And a very safe lead.
I ain't going anywhere with that. He could fall back on the bag on the pickoff.
2-1 now. You put something on here with a 2-1 count?
With that lead, I don't think you're putting anything on. You're going station to station or hoping for a gapper.
There's one hit to right field, but playable for Walker. And there are 2 out. Crowd got excited when they heard the contact of the bat, but it didn't go anywhere. So Buckley, the tying run, still at first base. He's there now with 2 out, but Bryson Smith, the top of the order, comes up. Smith 0 for 4 in this game. Smith had the winning hit last night. Can he come through with the winning hit again here tonight? Strike 1.
With Bryson Smith up, the outfielders still don't seem like they're respecting the power. Situations like this, they may play no doubles, so they're not giving up an extra base hit, but it looks like they're playing regular position. They're going to make Smith beat him deep.
Yeah, and they're not tight at third base either.
No, they're giving up the line at third. They're playing basically straight away in the outfield.
And not very deep. Just regular depth. High pop-up down the right field line. Everyone giving chase, and it goes up about 4 rows deep. So a ball and 2 strikes now to Bryson Smith. What a great night here in Pensacola. Wonderful visiting with Steve Hayes, the president of Visit Pensacola. And then Quinn Studer, who's done such an outstanding job as the owner here of the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. Bubba Watson couldn't be here tonight. He was busy playing golf and finishing second. And a swing and a miss, and down goes Smith. And the Barons have their first win of the series. They come back for a 3-2 victory with a run in the 8th inning.
Well, I think the big key, bases loaded situation, 5th inning, Pensacola couldn't get it done. Crabb did get it done, and that's why Birmingham won this ball game.
Tim Crabb was special, and that was the big difference. We'll come back to put the final wraps on it with the Barons winning it 3-2. Well, the home team didn't come through this time, but what a good, well-played game here in the Southern League as the Barons of Birmingham, they come through with a 3-2 victory with Brian McCray. I'm Dave Armstrong, and BMAC, this was just a really good minor league game tonight.
It looked like the Barons were going to take off and score a ton of runs after that first inning where they jumped out front 2 runs early, had Pensacola down. Pensacola fought back. They looked like they were about to break the game open in the 5th inning. And then that's when everything stopped, when Crabb came into the game with the bases loaded, nobody out, turned the momentum around, and then Birmingham was able to scratch one across late. They come up with a big win.
Well, we go back to the 5th inning. This is when Tim Crabb entered center stage. Bases loaded, nobody out. He strikes out Juan Duran, and then this double play.
And then after that, he cruised along. Didn't have any balls hit off of him that were really hard. Pretty much shut them down. Got the game back under control.
He gets the win. 4 innings of work. He doesn't give up a run. He doesn't give up a hit. He doesn't walk anybody. He strikes out 2. He faced 13 guys. He retired 13 guys. He was perfect.
That's as good as it can be.
Yeah.
I thought he'd just come in and try to limit the damage to 1 or 2 runs. He did better than that. Somebody better buy that man dinner tonight.
Absolutely. And the Barons, they were able to scratch out the winning run in the 8th inning, and Birmingham wins it by the final score of 3-2. Had a lot of fun here in Pensacola. For Brian McRae and our entire crew, I'm Dave Armstrong. For scores, highlights, features, and more, go to AmericanSportsNet.com. This has been a presentation of ASN, the American Sports Network. We're glad you watched tonight as the Birmingham Barons win it by the final score of 3-2. It's your teams. It's your passion. It's your network. Good night from Pensacola.